so I'm assuming you're here because you want to learn how to make stackable pumpkin art with oil pastels. We've come to the right place. There's two things you'll need. Oil pastels of choice. The next thing I'd recommend is like a good paper to use, and the reason why I like it is because it has a color but it's more of a mid-tone. It's really good for this project because you can use white to really bring out highlights, and then you can use darker colors to get darker, but it has like a nice even middle tone. Plus I really like this cardstock because it has kind of a cardboard feel to it, which I think is perfect for warm fall feel. And you can use white paper or black or whatever color you want. I just recommend using something that's a little bit thicker so that way the oils stay on it better and it lasts longer. So let's get started. All right, first we gotta draw our pumpkins. So I'm just gonna start at the bottom and then work my way up. Figure out where the middle is, and we're just gonna start by drawing oval. Oval, like a half oval on that side, then one on this side, one on that side, and then that there. And it's okay if they're not perfect because nature isn't always perfect either. Now for the middle pumpkin. I like to make my pumpkins get smaller as they go. So, whoop. Oh, this one's gonna be a tall one, I guess. And then that. And then that. That. And I'll just do one more there. Perfect. Then we got like a little guy on top. So I'm just gonna. There we go. Just kind of like half crescents all the way. I like that shape. And then I like having a little stem, so I kind of think of like an S shape. Boop. And then they're kind of thicker on top, so I'm gonna go like that, and then there we go. So I'm just gonna go back and refill my sketch just a little bit. The hard thing is you can add to it, but it's really hard to take away. Like you can cover things, but if it's like you go way off the lines, it's really hard to fix that later unless you add color to the background. I also find like this side's always like very voluptuous, and then this side's like kind of flat. Okay, so then you gotta decide what colors do you want to use. So for this one, I made the bottom blue, this one orange, and this one white, and then the stem brown. So I'm gonna keep that color scheme, but if you want to paint them whatever colors you want, feel free. It's coloring time. So I pick out a highlight, which is white pretty much throughout the whole thing for me. And then you want your medium color, so it's a medium blue, orange, white for me. And then you want your shadow color. So we're just gonna, all I want you to do is just take your colors, we're gonna relax. We're gonna build it up. First, let's just get some of the highlights in there. So just take it, and we're not gonna press super hard. We're just gonna get a little bit of color in there. So just in the center area, I want you to put some white. Because this is where the highlights are gonna be. Okay. Now we're gonna go and add our middle tones, but don't really worry about blending, just kind of worry about getting the colors down. This, I'm just gonna use blue, and I want white this way, but now I'm gonna use blue this direction. I'm trying to avoid the white in the center, but I'm mainly focusing on the sides of the white. So this is one of these things where you just kind of have to trust the process because it's gonna look worse before it looks better. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit dark blue in the cracks, so wherever you want there to be shadow. So the bottom, and then maybe where the pumpkins overlap at the top, and then the cracks. So then we're going to take our medium color and start blending it. And this is where we're going to start building up and start mixing. You're going to have to press down like a little bit harder than you normally would. Still working around the white because I'm going to take that white pastel and come back with it. Thing is with white is it's good at mixing, but it's really hard to bring highlights back after you lose them. Now we're going to go back in the middle with the white, and there we go. Anywhere you want highlights, just go for it. Alright, so this is where you just kind of add and layer. You can add your darks in, and then you add more. Just be a little on the conservative side with the dark, if you ask me. You can always add, but it's harder to take away. Worst comes to worst though, if you're using oil pastels and you do too much, you can kind of scratch it away and then use a different color instead. So sometimes I just throw a little, like some stripes in there just to add like a little bit of color and interest, but very lightly. Try to use it sparingly. This is looking good. Now we're just gonna keep going through and stacking. I love it when it doesn't perfectly blend and there's like a little bit of a choppy color and contrast and texture. That's what I'm really liking and going for. That's looking good. I'm just gonna take darker blue. That way I can really get it to pop. I'm making it dark on top because this pumpkin's sitting on top, and I'd imagine there'd be like a little bit of a shadow there. Come on together! Ah, I love it. I love it. That's just what I love about oil pastels. It's so much fun to like blend, and you can blend like with your finger too. I just prefer using color. And that's looking like a pumpkin to me. Now I'm gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna use the same technique. I have the white, then I'm gonna move in with like a medium color. So the orange, I'm just using a tan. And I'm kind of just going around the white. Okay. Then I have this, and I'm gonna go into the cracks where the pumpkin lines are and do some outlining. Now this is where you gotta be careful is between these two is you wanna be careful you don't mix the colors too much because they will want to do that. So if you want that look, great, but if you want to try to keep it from looking muddy, I'd recommend just trying to stay separated. Okay, so this is my messy layer. Before I lose all these lines, I'm gonna go in shadow. So you just keep getting a little bit darker, a little bit darker. All right, so now I'm taking my, this is definitely where I want the shadows to go color. And I'm gonna take this one as my, like this tan is more of my blending. And I'm gonna start piecing it together. Ooh, is that looking like a pumpkin? I think so. I like that, but I want more orange, so. And I think it's okay just to be free, you know. The main thing is like highlights in the center, medium over here, and then dark in the cracks. And I think if you keep up with that rhythm in each of these like little ovals, you'll be okay. Then I'm gonna go back in with the white and work on bringing those highlights in. I love it. Okay, now let's move on to the next section. So for this one, for the top pumpkin, I just want it white, so I'm gonna use white and pretty much white and gray. So we already have the white, so now it's time to go in gray. Redraw this a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so then come through here, shadow, 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 sweet, and then blend it. Add a little bit more gray for texture and drama. Now we just gotta do this little stem part. So, what do? I'm gonna find a light brown. And then And then I'm gonna use this dark blue, which we used before, to kind of help you bring it to color and just make a little shadow. It's really hard to do fine detail, I find, with these, but here we are nonetheless. And then we use this one for the highlight. Kind of blend it. Go back to the brown. I like to try to incorporate the colors that we used throughout the whole pumpkin to kind of just bring it together on the top. Great. I like it. Maybe see if we can add like a little bit of white. Yes. Yes. There we go. Now, looking at this, I love it. I think it's cute. We can just keep it as is. But I'm gonna just go back and make a few more tweaks, and then I think I will be happy. That's pretty much it. One thing you can also do is, if you want, you can just scratch into it and add a little bit more texture. So you just find a scraping tool. So the ones that are down around the bottom of the ridge, I make swoop downwards. And then in the middle, I have them come across, and then as it gets to the top, I start swooping up more and more the higher you go up. And this is just a fun way to add like texture when you get close to it. And there you have it. So this is the finished product, and I love it so much. This was so fun to make. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and then also be sure to subscribe if you want to see more helpful art tutorials and studio blogs, and follow along on my art journey. I like to post here regularly, and yeah, I hope to see you back soon. Until next time, bye!